In 3 preceding Salescraft meetings, we've talked about the many extra values of Cadillac which are hidden from view. Values the buyer cannot see, but which give him the inside story of Cadillac excellence. In this meeting, we're also going to discuss those things visible to the eye. The extra values you, as Cadillac salesman, can point out physically to the buyer who comes out of his corner and hits you with something like this.
And I can buy one of your competitors' cars for a lot less, and it's every bit as good as a Cadillac for my money.
For the purpose of our meeting, let's step into the picture and follow this Cadillac salesman as he tells us how he handles the situation.
Every salesman has his own way of answering a remark like this. Personally, I tell the prospect, yes, but. And I ask the prospect to step around to the left front fender, where I can show the entire product from a dramatic angle. This is the start of a walk-around, which I intend to end up with the prospect getting behind the wheel. They're looking for something more at Cadillac's price than just good looks and styling. I get right down to specifics and start with the grille, showing the beauty of its design and explaining why Cadillac uses aluminum as a grille material. I emphasize that Cadillac's grille, made of hand-assembled aluminum, is not only much lighter, but also stronger than competitive die-cast grilles. Its lighter weight helps reduce load at the front end for better performance. Also, the smoother surface finishes of the grille openings and the narrower gauge of metal permit better airflow and more efficient cooling. This is a good time to explain that the parking and turn signal lights of the 1966 Cadillac are now part of the grille, not only for more beauty and styling, but also for better positioning of these functional components in the Cadillac lighting system. Now, at this point, I hit the bumper story. How only Cadillac does its own plating. How Cadillac puts copper plate over polished steel, buffs it, and then more copper plate, then 3 thicknesses of nickel on top of that, more buffing, and finally, chrome plating and a buff finish. The result is a jewel-like bumper surface, smooth, unbroken, and with no bolt head showing. I make sure the prospect understands what this means to him in extra trade-in value, with bumpers that keep their like-new appearance year after year. At the right front end of the car, I call attention to the cornering lamps. That's standard on Cadillac for better side illumination when turning, and the fender-mounted turn signal indicators to help the driver check his directional lamps without taking his eyes from the road. Now, cornering lamps are an extra cost option on Buick and Oldsmobile, and not available at all on Lincoln or Imperial. And I point out fender-mounted signal indicators are exclusively Cadillac among these cars. Lifting the hood, I show the prospect the extra care Cadillac takes, at added expense, of course, in providing 3 latching points underneath. This Cadillac exclusive, I point out, gives him 3 anchor points instead of the usual 2 to hold the big hood firmly and provide hood stability. I describe the quiet performance of Cadillac and show him the new molded one-piece insulation pad on the firewall to seal off engine and road noises from the car's interior. And I mention that this is typical of Cadillac's entire soundproofing story, which extends to such lengths as putting insulation in the rear quarter panels to eliminate gravel noise and the noise the engineers call road sizzle. Right here, it's natural to talk about the Cadillac engine. Without getting too detailed, I mention the close tolerances of the engine's components and how this manufacturing precision pays off in superb performance, longer engine life, and more operating economy. Next, I move to the glamorous side view of the car. I take full advantage of the story about Cadillac's exclusive body construction, inside and out. And if the prospect's wife is present, I direct my remarks to her as well as to him. That's because I'm going to begin talking about the fine details of appearance, and that's an area where a woman's judgment is very important. I find it makes a big impression to explain that Cadillac is the only American automobile body that receives 4 color coats of finish, and how this assures a deep, lasting finish. Makes the car worth more later as a trade-in. And to dramatize this, I use my data book, or maybe a small ruler to show how deep the finish appears to be. Next, I move them to the right rear. This gives me another chance to refer to the bumper finish and the massive, heavy, and protective appearance of the total bumper. I then call attention to the center impact bar of this year's vertical tail lamp assembly, and how it not only enhances Cadillac styling, but serves also to protect the lens from damage. I open the trunk and invite them to look into the luggage compartment. The large capacity is all usable, I explain. Spare tire out of the way, but easy to get to when needed. No deep wells or places hard to reach. Everything clean, neat, and made to do just one thing: store a lot of luggage with room to spare. You know, people notice a lot of little things. So I call attention to the deck lid hinges and how they're finished and covered for the sake of appearance and protection of luggage. How even the mechanism of the automatic deck lid lock, if this is ordered by the customer, is covered. Working around to the left side of the car, I open the rear door and invite the prospect's wife to sit in the passenger compartment. With a lady in back, I describe the trim. I talk about the care Cadillac takes in matching colors exactly by bolts of cloth, and show her the careful seam alignment. And I romance it by saying this Cadillac upholstery is as fine, or finer, than many people have in their living rooms. Knowing she probably has beautiful furniture in her home, I ask her to notice the backs of Cadillac's front seats, how they're tailored and finished right down to the carpets, just like she'd order from a fine furniture store. Then I direct her attention to all the fine details of Cadillac interior appointments: armrests, ashtrays, assist handles, and the expert care and tailoring which have been given to the fit and installation of the door panels. If I'm showing our new Fleetwood Brougham, I want the lady to know she's looking at fine walnut paneling, genuine walnut, on the seat backs and door panels of the Cadillac interior, not a thin synthetic. Again, I point out that it's expensive and distinctively Cadillac. Now I'm ready to show them the most exciting part of the new Cadillac: the driver and front seat passenger compartment, the most luxurious motor car front compartment in the industry. Now, the first thing I ask them to look at is the way only the Cadillac instrument panel flows into the door panels. A more expensive approach, I remark, but after all, this is a Cadillac. They want other things, too: comfort and beauty while they drive. And that's why I tell them the instrument panel and coved front seat passenger area extending to the right are made of a material that has been molded to the beauty and passenger comfort they want to own. Then I ask them to try the comfortable door armrests of the 1966 Cadillac. I point out that this Cadillac detail not only affords complete comfort and convenience, but permits more interior spaciousness as well. Other things, I tell them, Cadillac does on purpose, so special you have to look for them like a signature on a fine painting. Here's one: this snap-like fixture to anchor and hold the sun visor. No bolt or protrusion to distract from its finished look. The mirror on the visor is also a snap-on, and again, it costs a little more. But this is a Cadillac. Now, I may not always tell the complete Cadillac story. It just depends on my prospects and their interests. I'm as interested as you are in closing as fast as possible. So I zero in on these extra value features which I think they'll be most interested in. And they listen, because they are going to spend a lot of money for a car. They're looking for value. If they're smart buyers, and most of them are, they'll go where the extra value is. And if I show them extra value, they'll go with me and Cadillac. These are the standards, the extra values these people want to know about. These are the standards they'll buy in Cadillac once they understand them versus a competitor. And they'll buy them from you once you make them understand why a Cadillac is a Cadillac.
This is the fourth and final film in our series on the Cadillac product. Obviously, it has not been possible to tell you everything about all of the extra values in this great Cadillac for 1966. By combining two Salescraft releases, 4 meetings in one package, we have been able to give you in condensed form what you might call the Cadillac success story. What makes a Cadillac a Cadillac? What makes Cadillac far and away the best motor car value in its price class? You have noted in many product areas, we do not show specific comparisons with competition. There are 2 reasons for this. First, there just isn't enough time. And second, This is an overall story of Cadillac's combination of extra values which the luxury car buyer will not find in any competitive make. For Cadillac offers more in all product areas together than any single motor car. With Cadillac, we do not claim superiority in every single feature, but we do claim superiority in Cadillac as a total motor car package. And we can prove this to the buyer who asks why Cadillac costs more. Whether it's a seat, a transmission, a spring, a turn signal, a bumper, or bolt, Cadillac adds something extra in value in the way all the components of Cadillac look and perform. All customers are different. No two are interested in the same things. One customer wants to talk performance, another ride and handling, still another luxury and convenience. You have to be equipped with the overall Cadillac story to be able to swing quickly and effectively in selling any product area that obviously is important to the customer. If you know your product, if you ask for action in every situation while you describe the product, you will get the selling action that Cadillac gives you because of extra value with the owner in mind.